my 2023 Subaru Crosstrek Camping Edition. What is going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Rob Pelton and I do a lot of backpacking videos. I do a lot of gear reviews and now more recently some car camping stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, if that's your bag, thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to show you how I have fashioned a car camping setup in my Subaru. Now, this is the first time I've done this. Some thought has gone into it. I'm sure there are things that could be better. There are some things there that are pretty cool. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for me, please leave those questions, suggestions, comments down in the comment area below. Now, the idea here is to gather all the things that I think I would need for a car camping trip. You know, from sleeping arrangements to cooking to clothing to power and just those kinds of things, and get it all together like this and try to fit it into the car. And the car is a 2023 Subaru Crosstrek Sport. Right now, I have the car completely emptied out and I have folded down the back seats and I removed the headrests. A few things right off the bat are window covers. I actually picked up a whole set of these window covers from WeatherTech. Now, they're custom fit and specifically made for this car, and it comes with all the windows, the windshield, the back windshield, the side windows, front and back. Even the little side windows, it came with covers for that. Kind of overkill in my opinion. I really don't use these. All of these covers fit perfectly. It's kind of a pressure fit, really. Once it's in there, you're good. And they have these little tabs, you can just pull them out. I use the ones up front, but I don't use the ones in the back. Here's why. This is the passenger side rear window. Now, this is going to be one of my main ventilation points because when you're in a car, you need some ventilation. There's a lot of condensation coming from my body and my breath, and you want that out. Plus, you need that airflow. So those window covers would stop all of that. So I picked up these little elastic screens, and these simply fit over the windows. Just like that. That allows me to roll the windows all the way down. I can get that airflow, but more importantly, it keeps the damn bugs out. Once those are installed, you can just shut the door. When not in use, I just keep them in the little cubby on the door. Now, this is the passenger side door. This is actually the side where my bed goes. So the armrest and the little cubby in the armrest, that's kind of like my nightstand. And the most important thing to carry is chapstick in there. Now, behind the passenger front seat, there's a little pocket on the seat, and I just carry extra trash bags and a map and whatever else you can find to stuff in here, you know, maybe a book, but just a little convenient out-of-the-way storage place. On the driver's seat, the front driver's seat, I have my car keys on a carabiner. Those go there just in case if there's something outside, I can trigger the alarm, but more importantly, when you need to get out and pee at night, you actually have to unlock your car so you can get out. Otherwise, you set off the alarm. And on the other side is just a little hook. You can hang bags, you can hang all kinds of stuff. And these things are just basic. I got these on Amazon. And for everyday life, I actually put grocery bags back here and they hang as I drive home. In the front seat, I really don't keep anything, but on the floor in the front, it's just extra storage space. This is just a waterproof, you know, ground mat. I did not even use it on this trip, but it's there just in case. And of course, you got storage in the doors in case you need to keep odds and ends. Basic stuff. Let's talk about the sunroof. Now, this car does have a sunroof, and that is going to be your main condensation and air vent. Now, when it's not raining, obviously you have to keep it closed, but when it's not, this is just a big old hole for the bugs to get into. So I got this simple mesh square, and in the edges are just these flexible magnets. You just slap it on the car, make sure the magnets are stuck all the way around, and you got proper ventilation out of your sunroof. The car basics, they're done, they're out of the way. Now let's talk about getting all this stuff inside the car and get it ready for camping. Now usually when I'm at a camp spot like I am now, I don't like to leave gear outside of the car for a couple of reasons. 1, theft. 2, critters. And 3, what if I need a fast egress? All I have to do is hop in the driver's seat, start the car, and I'm out of here. I don't want to have to gather up a bunch of stuff just in case I have to bug out really, really quick. So there is a way to get all this in the car and sleep in it at the same time. As I was researching car camping and van life, that kind of thing, the number one thing that people seem to research is bed platforms. How do you get into the car and sleep comfortably? Is it going to be flat? And if not, how do you get it flat? How do you get it sturdy? How do you get it rigid? Well, that's where these bed platforms come from, and that's what this is. I built this just a couple of days ago, and it works pretty well. So let's talk about this. Now, I went to Home Depot looking for a piece of plywood, more specifically birch plywood. Why birch? It's stronger, it's lighter, and it has a little bit better of a finish so it doesn't snag things. And I asked the Home Depot people, hey, can you cut this sheet of plywood for me? Which Home Depot usually does. The guy said, yeah, I can do that, but the saw's not calibrated. It might be up to a 1/2 inch off once we get to the other end. What? So I said, absolutely not. So I ended up going over to Menards to see if they could cut some plywood. Now the cool part about Menards is they didn't have a saw on site, which kind of bummed me out, but they did have pre-cut pieces of birch plywood. In the research that I've done, everyone said the perfect platform for the back of these Subarus is 24 inches wide by 6 feet long. Now, this first section is 24 inches wide by 48 inches long. And at that point, I bought a hinge, a piano hinge, and I bought a second piece of wood that's 24 by 24. The piano hinge, I simply measured it and I cut the remainder off with some tin snips and screwed it all down, and that's how it works. And sure, I routed the corners and I sanded it down a little bit, but that's all this is, and this probably weighs, I don't know, 25 pounds maybe? Let's look at the back of the Crosstrek. Now the seats do fold down. It's like a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split in the seats, where this is the 70, this is the 30. Now this gap here is 24 inches. So I could, in theory, lay the bed platform down and still have my other seat up if I wanted to, but I found that it's nicer and more roomy to have them both down. The other thing to address for Subarus, and I don't know why it's like this, but as you come from the back seats into the trunk area, there's a lip here, a pretty substantial bump that goes down into the trunk area. And a lot of people struggle to find how to level that out, because from the back of the trunk all the way to the front of the seats, that's like a 5-inch difference. So how do I level that out? One other thing about the trunk area, as you get back to the trunk part, there's actually another little lip here too, and that's another 3 or 4 inches. So a lot of people, are struggling with how to get around this lip. Again, let's look at what I did to fix this issue. Enter some gadgets that I found. Yeah, that's a Dollar General Spider-Man pillow. Don't judge me. 2 things. I found this at Costco. What is this? It's a foldable crate. Now you can carry stuff in it. And this is very, very handy to have. I did not end up using it on this trip. What I did use, however, is this foldable table. It's just like those big, long 6-foot table that you see at a lot of picnics and things, but this one is just smaller. It folds out, you can get your legs, and I actually cooked breakfast on this earlier, but when it's folded, this is the perfect height to fill in that gap. Let me show you. I'm not so concerned with the driver's side. I'm only concerned with the passenger side, where the bed platform goes. The only thing I need to do is just fill this gap up with something, and I found that this table works perfectly for that. Next thing to do is make sure the seat is all the way forward and the seat back is all the way forward. One thing I will say about manual seats, I actually like them better than power seats. You saw how fast I did that. With power seats, it's like, who has time for that? A couple more things before we bring the actual platform in here. Now, I like to put a little bit more padding right in the area where the hinge is, because I find that the hinge can bow a little bit, and this offers a little bit of padding to keep that hinge from bowing. And all I have is this like old piece of, Thermarest, sleeping mattress. And I'll put it right on the edge of the seat here, just so that hinge can lay there, and it offers a little bit more support there. It's probably unnecessary, but I'm weird. The next thing to do is put these bins in the footwell behind the passenger seat. What goes into these bins, it really doesn't matter. I have, dry food goods in one and just some camp stuff in the other. But these two bins stacked equals right about 18 inches, which is the distance that you need for the support of the head end of the platform. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me show you. Now we come in with the bed platform. You just lay it in here, scoot it up right to the edge. Now the back end of the platform is supported by the table. The front end gives me just a little height with that cushion there. And you can kind of shift things around as you need. Now you can fold your bed platform, creating your complete 6-foot bed surface. The reason why it's important for this top edge, this top piece, to be 24 inches, because this gives you enough clearance to not scrape your headliner. Now you can see the reason why these bins or anything in this footwell is 18 inches, because it perfectly fits this bed platform coming off of the seats. And on the other side of the bed platform, it rests on the armrest from your front seats. Solid. Now from here, it's all kind of a blank canvas. Use all the room behind the driver's seat to put whatever you want. You even got the footwell behind the driver's seat to put whatever you want. And of course, your bedding goes over here on the passenger side. You want to see what that looks like for me? The mattress I have here is just this overkill beast. You can easily use just an inflatable mattress like you would for backpacking. I wanted something a little bit more glamping, something a little bit more luxurious. This is from a company called King Chi or King Shi. It's right off of Amazon. It's a 3-inch thick piece of memory foam. The issue with this particular pad, it's like 30 inches wide, so I have a lot of overhang. I might cut this, I might not, I don't know, but I did sleep on it last night. And from here, you just kind of smash it all down, make it fit, and that's the bed. Then you chuck in your Spider-Man pillow, your blanket, sleeping bag, whatever, and that's the bed. This is the bed. This. Now you can climb on in, get comfy, and have yourself a restful slumber. Now, I do prefer to enter and exit my bed area from the passenger door. I don't like going out the end. Usually at night, especially, if I have to go pee or something, that's closed, and that's just more of a hassle. And plus, this is a Crosstrek. The headroom, isn't that great. Good thing I'm fairly flexible, but I can just roll out of this side, throw on my Crocs, and I'm off to the bathroom or wherever I need to go. You kind of want to see what that looks like, don't you? You open the door and literally just fall out. Bathroom time. Now we just pack the voids. I usually put coolers right behind the driver's seat, tuck my boots in that little hump between the seats. Put the big bin in. Now this bin, it's just camping stuff. It's whatever supplies you think you'll need. Now this is where you can see this super wide mattress is kind of snug. That's okay, you can just shift it over, doesn't matter. Oh, and this stupid thing is a sunshade I'm not using. So we'll go ahead and tuck that away deep down, like my feelings. And over behind the driver's seat, I'll put the power station. This is an EcoFlow something something. I actually borrowed this from my girlfriend. I have to get one of my own. But that goes right there. This bin is full of just car emergency stuff. There's jumper cables in here, a jump box, a little toolkit, air compressor. This is just the stuff you need while you're out kind of in the wilderness, just so you don't get stuck. But these just stay here. Now with all the little nooks and crannies we got, here's an extra blanket, just get settled down here. My extra clothes just get settled right down here. I brought extra sleeping bags and things just in case I got cold. Didn't really need it, but I had it. This is the pad that I didn't end up using, so I probably won't bring this with me again, but just tuck it somewhere. Now we just got the extra stuff, like this water jug and, you know, this extra crate that I don't need. Looks like it fits there to me. And then don't forget the front passenger seat. You got all this floor room, you got seat space, and you just carry all your extras in here. Oh, did I mention these little cup holders that, you know, just clip in your windowsill like this? And you can just put your drinks there, and when you shut the door, you got your drink holder handy right there. These things are like $1, and they come in bigger sizes for like coffee mugs. Whew. Now the car is packed, it's ready for sleep. And you could travel like this if you really, really wanted to. Me personally, I don't like having the front passenger seat all the way up. It's kind of distracting, so I usually just roll the bed up and fold the platform. That way I can bring that platform back and it's not annoying to me. But iPad, those are my little nightstands that I made, charging cables for my charging. And then the cool part is, got a little fan, because you need that ventilation. And then you just hop on in. And this is it. The cool part about the fan is it clips into different places. Here's your little oh shit bar for your back seat. You can literally just clip it to here. Boom. You got a fan just like that. Me personally, what I did last night, I just hooked it onto the power station. That way if it ran out of juice, I could just plug it into the big battery pack. Let's close her up and see what we're looking at. Now I'm inside. And I like to have my head in the middle of the car. I don't like to have my head down in the trunk area. For some reason, that just seems weird. I like to be able to look up out of my sunroof and see the stars, and more importantly, see the bear that's climbing on my car. You got room down here. You got all your nightstands and all your supplies here. You got your beverages here. And with these screens, the air does come through, but more importantly, all the condensation helps, it escapes all from these mesh areas. And if there's a good breeze, a breeze will blow through these mesh screens. It keeps the bugs out, but if you do need a lot more air movement, that's where a little fan like that just is awesome to have. Now I can sit in here, got my light if I need a light, and just chill and sleep, watch movies, whatever. The only things that I won't do in here would be like cooking. I'm not going to fry a pound of bacon in here. I'll have a kitchen set up out there. But this is how I camp in my car. Do you have any questions about my setup? Do you have any suggestions? I would love to hear them. Leave those down in the comment area below. I would greatly appreciate it. I love reading your comments, so leave them. And if this video gave you any value or any entertainment, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. That's the most important thing, because if you like the video, that tells YouTube that I'm doing cool things. Do you remember when I said I like to have everything packed up in my car when I sleep? That way, if I need to make a quick getaway or I need to get out of here in a hurry, I can just hop in the driver's seat and just peel on out of here. The only things that I would need to do, honestly, grab my shoes that will probably be outside. Otherwise, if I don't want to go outside, maybe there's a bear or maybe there's zombies or something. I mean, literally, I'm just doing this. And I'm out of here. Oh, I gotta remove the sunscreens, obviously. That is the setup and what it looks like for camping. Now, let's pack this thing up and get ready to drive. At least how I prefer to do it. First things first, let's get the bedding out of the way, because we need to roll this thing up. What I do like about this particular mattress, it comes with these built-in straps. So you really don't have to be super perfect with it. Just get it close enough, buckle them in, cinch it down a little bit, and this is done. Get in here and fold the platform back. Now that's flat. I'm gonna get these bins, slide these towards the back to free up my footwell, and simply slide my seat back to a normal driving position. That's pretty much packed. The only thing really left to do at this point, remove the sunshades. Grab your bug screens. And do not forget the sunroof bug screen. Actually, the bug screen for the sunroof belongs to my girlfriend, so I better do the right thing. There. So, here we are. That was my camping setup, car camping setup for my Subaru Crosstrek. If you have any questions for me, suggestions, advice, comments, jokes, leave those questions and all those things down in that comment area below. I love to read your suggestions, I really do. And if you found any value out of this video, if you found any entertainment, go ahead and like the video. That's what actually helps me the most. And if you want to see more of my face, just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way when I drop a video, you get a little message. Hey, Rob Pelton's got a new video out. And you could be one of those cool people to be the first to check out my content. Otherwise, get out on trail, find your own adventure somewhere, anywhere, and enjoy this big, beautiful world. We'll see you on the next one.